Hey BBs, it's Plastic, and today I'm back with y'all for another video. Today we are doing a more tutorial type of video. I don't do these that often on my channel, but I know a lot of people have been asking me how I fix my Clawdeens polypropylene issue and how I manage it. So I'm going to be showing you guys all my tips and tricks and my advice for dealing with it because it's definitely not a fun ride. But I just did open my Clawdeen, and yeah, the hair is gross. The hair is dry. The hair is just not, it feels cheap. It looks cheap. It's just not great. So one of the things that I know a lot of people do when they see this kind of hair, they immediately throw it in a boil wash or they try to wash it. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, don't try doing that. Hot water, very hot water, will make this even more worse than it already is. Boiling polypropylene hair is not going to help anybody. It's going to make it worse. It's going to make it drier. It's just not good. I'm going to show you guys the straightening method that I use. So I just use a straight iron, a towel, a spray water bottle, and a little rat tail kind of comb. And I'm going to really quickly de-dress Clawdeen, make sure every accessory is packed away safely. We don't want to lose anything. I always lose my doll's accessories when I'm washing them. So try to make sure you clean or, put them in a very nice spot. And I'll meet you guys right back, when we're all ready for that. We're back. Clawdeen is all naked. For some reason, this is just more of like me thinking out loud. I've only ever dealt with polypropylene at night. Like, every time I do polypropylene, it's always, like, before I go to bed. And it's, like, 9 o'clock right now. So, hopefully we can do this in under, like, 2 hours. But, we have Clawdeen here. All of her stuff is squared away really nicely and tightly. I just plugged in my straightening iron. While we are doing that, I'm going to put this towel on my lap because we will be using water to kind of, put in the hair, because when you're straightening doll hair, you can't use it like you can't use direct heat like a straighten iron on doll hair, just because it'll burn it off like literally intermittently, like literally directly, I guess, like quickly. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it'll burn it off. So just don't even bother doing that. So this is like, I'm heating this up. It's at 190. That's the lowest this goes, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to let that work with that. So if you are doing straightening iron with these dolls, put it on the lowest temperature possible, because that's what's going to work best. If you don't want to put it on a high heat, you're going to do a tester strain in the back, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But I just want to let you know, if you're heating this up with me right now, do it at the lowest setting possible. We're not trying to burn this hair off. While this is disgusting hair, we want it to stay on the head, okay? But yeah, I'm gonna let that heat up for just a minute. So we're back at my lap, which is a really weird kind of sentence, but I'm gonna really quickly just spray some water in Clawdeen's hair just to start to get it a little bit wet. I'm not gonna go too heavy on this. I might brush the water through, but you definitely don't want to dry brush, this doll, dry brush. Make sure everything you do is wet with this doll. I'm just gonna use one of these kind of wet brushes. Again, I'm doing this while it is wet, so it's not gonna tug too hard. Again, this hair fiber is a nightmare, so we're just gonna be as careful as possible just to not, make it go any poofier, or anything like that. But isn't it such a shame that we have to deal with this for Clawdeen? Like, isn't that so annoying? I paid $20, almost $30 for this doll, and she has the worst hair fiber imaginable. You'd think they would get their shit together for the Monster High dolls, right? But nope, apparently not. But just making sure this is all wet. I'm going to really quickly take a test strand all the way in the back of her hair. We're going to do it just right here, because this, again, is a full head of poly hair. I'm just going to make sure this is soaking wet. I'm going to do this backwards for me, but forwards for you guys so you can see it. But I'm just going to take it like this. This iron is straight, all heated up. We're just going to take it and just run it through. You could do it a couple times, but just enough so it gets all straight. I'll try to prop it up a little bit more, just so it gets a little bit straight. I don't really know what the heat does to the hair, to be honest with you guys. I just know that it, magically, makes it a little bit better. Their dead ends are still going to be really bad. But just making sure you kind of do it a couple times, just to get it a little bit straighter. And you're going to want to repeat this for the whole head. Again, making sure the temperature is not too hot and making sure the hair stays wet, because, again, the dry hair will completely ruin the doll. It'll burn it off. It's too hot. So you're just going to make sure you have a little bit of a barrier between it. Yeah. I really quickly just kind of changed the angle. I'm still straightening iron the hair, doing the same exact thing that I showed in the first clip, making sure it kind of gets smooth and straight. But I wanted to put on a little fish dress video because whenever I'm doing a task like, whatever, straightening hair or like, doing something very like curling the hair or braiding the hair, whatever that tea may be, I always like to put on some sort of video and just kind of relax with it because I don't know, something about this is like so fun. Like obviously I don't really want to be straightening doll hair that I paid a lot of money for. Like I know $30 or $25 isn't a lot of money for, a doll right now. But again, at that price point, we should not be having to deal with polypropylene in the year 2022. So I'm just trying to make the best out of it because that's all I can really do. There's no point of me just complaining. I'd rather just enjoy the doll as best as I can, even if I am, have to go the extra miles and steps to kind of deal with that. But in this clip, again, I'm just kind of chilling, watching Fishdress's new video. In their video, they're talking about the experience with the new Monster High dolls, finding them, reviewing them, all that fun stuff. I'll link that video in the comments below or the description or whatever because I think it was really fun. I love their videos. I love Fishdress. I'm like their biggest supporter. But yeah, I was just kind of, making the best out of the situation of having straight iron the hair. And I obviously know straight ironing doll hair is like not the end of the world. And it's very much a first world problem, if that even. But I don't know. It was fun to do and relaxing. So that's all my thing is. And that's my advice. If you're going to do straighten doll hair or do something fun like this, put on a video. So it's the day after straightening your hair, and I let it dry because while I did straighten it with like heat, it was still just a little bit damp. I wanted to show you guys how the hair looked after, and it's okay. It's still not that good. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, but I think it's much better. And I will be going in and trimming this up a little bit just because once you just trim it up, it looks a lot better. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna braid it yet because if I'm just gonna give her like braids, I'm just gonna leave the length in because I'm not gonna really feel it that well, but. I also might go in and re-curl it with a straightening iron because it is a little bit wavy. And I don't like it being straight. I really want her hair to be curly, but that fiber just doesn't really work with the hair. So I might just go around and re-curl it. But I just wanted to give you guys like a rough idea of like how just doing a simple straightening iron will help it so much better. Because while like it doesn't look as awful as it did before, it doesn't look like Saran hair does. So like let me take like this Clawdeen, like the Boo Original. Like, you can just tell the difference. And I know this is Saran hair, and it does look a little bit crazy, but it's, like, much better than this. Like, this still looks like a horse knits, while this is, like, soft and silky. And this is the hair fiber everyone wants to use. Saran is, like, the best, but polypropylene is just, you just have to kind of work around it. It's just really unfortunate that they would continue to use this in 2022 when we have better options. It just looks still disgusting and dry. But another kind of thing that you can do is just kind of give it micro braids, especially if it's a character who is like black. So that's like an option, I think. But yeah, this is just like my technique of how I kind of fix it a little bit, how I manage it so it doesn't get worse over time. Because I found out that if you just kind of brush it a lot, like brush it with a regular comb or like put it in hot water, it'll just make it worse. So this is definitely one of the better options. But I don't know. With that, I guess, thank y'all for watching. Let me know if this helped you guys, if anything. Again, trimming it's going to make it a lot better, and just trying not to play with her as much is going to, obviously help, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of turned out a little bit sad, to be honest, but yeah. With that, thank y'all again so much for watching, though. I cannot wait to creep y'all in the next one. Mwah.